Unfortunately, research shows that the overwhelming majority of Americans don't have enough money saved for retirement. So I thought I would do a video about what to do if you don't have enough saved for retirement. I know it seems sort of logical, most of these things, but so often there's a culture that is around just, you're stuck. If you don't have enough saved for retirement, there's absolutely nothing you can do. It's too late. And I think it leads people to think there are no solutions. There are a lot of solutions, and we see many people that end up having very good success later in life. So in this video, I want to address 5 things that you can do if you don't have enough money saved for retirement. While there are dozens of solutions, most of the solutions fall into one of these 5 categories. The very first thing that you can do if you haven't saved enough for retirement is to spend less. Now, I know this is so common, right? And you already know that. So I'm not going to talk about it a lot. There are plenty of videos about living frugally and about how to cut back your expenses, etc., etc. I think that the other solutions here are much more promising, have much better upside, etc. But I do want to say that every time that I really nail down and look at our expenses, I cut a few, because in this day and age of recurring expenses and things that are so easy to end up getting signed up for, recurring monthly expenses, we end up usually with things like that we don't mean to pay for. And also life changes, and we can get rid of things that we really don't care about that much anymore. So the first one is obvious, but it usually, when you look at it, it usually ends up getting good results. I've found that myself in my own life and working with financial coaching clients. The next method for what to do if you don't have enough saved for retirement, I want to show you the actual numbers. I know that it's one thing when we hear these things, but it's another thing when we actually look at a calculator and we see the impact that these tips, these things that we hear, can have on our numbers. And I want to show you this because I think it will also encourage you to play with your own numbers. I'll see you at my computer. Okay, so head over to my website that I built, retirecertain.com, and I've added the calculators back on my website. I'll show you where you can find them right here under Wealth Tools, and the one that we're going to look at right now is the Retirement Age Calculator. A couple of you have asked in the comments. I've done another video about using some of the calculators on here, and they were not on the website for a little while. So for right now, they're on the website. So make sure you head over and take a look. So the Retirement Age Calculator. So we're going to use this to see point number 2, and that is simply if you save more money. Now, again, it's like spending less, right? It's really, really intuitive. But let's put some numbers to the suggestion, and you can see that the impact is huge. Now, let me say that one thing that I find sort of irritating as an older investor, an older person, is that most of the advice is based on having decades to save and invest and have that money compound. And that's just no longer the situation with people that are headed into retirement, that are in their 50s and certainly 60s. So I want to emphasize here that it's always great to save more, but it can have a much, much bigger impact, and it is more meaningful as a solution if you've got a good 5 years at least, certainly 10 years before you retire. So if you're looking at this and you're in your 40s or certainly early 50s, as many of my viewers are, then you've got a good 10 years before retirement if you're looking to retire around age 60, 65. So what to do when you come to this calculator is just, if there's any data in here, there shouldn't be, but if there is, just click clear. Okay, and we'll start fresh here. And why don't we say that we've got someone that is 50 years old. Let's go with that. And you can come here again. I really encourage you to come here and enter your own data. And let's say that this person has 400,000 in retirement savings, and that's high given the average, right? But let's go with that, and let's say that the monthly amount invested now is $500. So they're adding $500 a month to their retirement savings. And let's say that this says annual interest rate. What it really is the return that they're getting on their investments. So let's say 6% here in this case. And let's say that they know the amount that they feel like they want for retirement is a nice round $1 million. Okay. And then we're just going to click calculate. And we'll see that sure enough, this person at age 63, they can retire with that goal of $1 million. They will have over $1 million at the age of 63 if they're saving $500 a month. Okay, so let's say that they're going to save $1,000 a month. And let's calculate that. And this shows that they will be able to retire at age 62 instead of 63, and they would have made 139 contributions. And what it's going for here is getting over that $1 million. So this was the goal, to have $1 million once they retired, and this is calculating the age. So we can do that one more time, and let's say that they saved $2,000 a month, which is a lot. Okay, let's calculate, and we can see they could retire at 59 with still over $1 million. So we can see here that the more you save, I know this is really obvious, but when we look at these numbers, we can see the impact that it has. So you get the idea. So come here, play with your own numbers. I know you all are all over the place. I hear from my viewers that, $1 million, you don't need that to retire. I hear other people, you need at least $2 million. I hear from other people, I have 300,000 and we live off the land, and we're fine. And so everybody's situation is different. There's no judgment here. I'm just pulling out some numbers, random numbers. You come here, do what works for you. Such a huge factor here in how much you need to retire is where you live. So that one is a big one. Okay, so the next thing you can do if you haven't saved enough for retirement, I'm also going to show you on the calculator. So we're going to look at a similar situation, and let's say we've still got our 50-year-old, and let's say that they have 500,000 in retirement savings, and they're investing $500 a month. And let's say we've been using that 6% example, but let's say that they improve their investing ability and they are really confident based on how they're investing that they will be able to get a 7% return, and they really would like to have that $1 million at retirement. Let's calculate this, and we can see that they can retire at age 59 with that 7% return. Now let's see if we change that though, say that they're only going to have a 5% return, and let's calculate. And we can see that they will need to work until age 62 to reach that retirement goal of $1 million. Now, let me just super important here to point out that a lot of investors, as they're getting older, they're putting more money into the stock market. Please don't think that I am suggesting that you should increase the amount that you have in the stock market. That would be increasing risk, and sometimes increasing your return is really more about managing your risk and lowering your risk. So please don't think that I'm suggesting that. The point of this is that if you increase or improve your investment returns, you can have more money for retirement. You can reach that retirement savings goal. And the way to do that is often just by paying attention. It's by education. It's by choosing an investment strategy based on, I like to use many decades, 40 to 50 years of back-tested data throughout various economic environments, or perhaps using a financial advisor that has experience investing in different types of markets, because we won't always have this great market that we've had recently. Okay, so that's my spiel. I've got a lot of information on that. You can watch my other videos. I'll put information in the description section underneath the video. The fourth solution to not having enough money saved for retirement is to simply delay retirement. We've seen that already in the calculator here in the numbers. the longer we work, the more money we save, the more money that we'll have to be able to live on in retirement. So that one's pretty straightforward. The fifth solution is my very favorite solution, and that is to generate an extra income stream outside of what you would normally use for your retirement investing. Now, this could be if you have extra capital, if you have extra savings, this could be generated from extra savings, or it could be generated from some sort of service that you provide. There are hundreds of ways that you can generate an extra income stream with or without using your investment capital. Now let me show you the impact that this will have, because we're really looking at the numbers here. Let's say that you're able to generate $1,700 a month in retirement. If we annualize that, that's about $20,400 a year. And if we divide that by 4%, that tells us about how that equates to making a very typical 4% retirement withdrawal during retirement. And that comes out to about $500,000, over $500,000. So if you generate that extra $1,700 a month, somehow it could be so many different ways. That is like you saved another $500,000 when you compare that to making retirement withdrawals. So keep that in mind and think of how you could generate extra income if you haven't saved enough money for retirement. I'd love to hear in the comments which of these ideas make the most sense to you. And remember, retire certain.